Welcome to Boardcast, Questions Answered, Challenges Explored, the podcast where questions lead the way and conversations connect school leaders to real-world solutions.
In each episode, we'll dive into the issues shaping Arkansas schools today, answering the questions that matter most to board members and administrators. With expert guests and meaningful discussions, we provide a snapshot of challenges, best practices, and strategies to help you lead with confidence. Let's explore today's challenges and uncover tomorrow's answers together.
Welcome to another episode of ASBA Boardcast. In this episode, we're joined by Jill Barham, Interim Executive Director of the Arkansas Ethics Commission, and Drew Blankenship, Staff Attorney for the Commission. They discuss recent changes to Arkansas campaign finance reporting requirements, what school board candidates and members need to know, common reporting questions, and where to turn for assistance. Whether you're considering a run for office or currently serving on a school board, this conversation offers practical guidance to help you stay informed and compliant.
Welcome to AR Boardcast. Thank you for joining us. With us, we have two special guests today. We have Jill Barham, who is the Interim Executive Director for the Arkansas Ethics Commission, and Drew Blankenship, who's one of the staff attorneys at the Commission. So thank you both for joining us. We really appreciate your time and for you being here and joining us.
Thank you for having us. We're delighted to be here.
So how would you describe the mission and purpose of the Ethics Commission?
The mission of the Ethics Commission is to serve as the compliance and enforcement agency under Arkansas standards of conduct and disclosure laws concerning candidates for public office, state and local public officials, lobbyists and committees, and individuals involved with initiatives, referenda, and other matters that are referred to the voters.
So back in February, Jill, you very kindly presented for us at our law conference dealing with the changes in the 25 session for the campaign finance reports. And so we appreciated that you did that because there was a lot of changes, especially for school board members. And so there's not only that people could go back and look for more information, but the Secretary of State's office has a lot of information. So to cover things, how would you put it at the basics for people that are seeking office? What would you say is the basic thing for the campaign finance reports?
Yes. Okay. Well, that's a great question. Yeah. I was thinking back to my time coming and visiting with you all, and it was a very rainy day that day. So it was quite the adventure. But, all candidates for office in Arkansas are required to file contribution and expenditure reports. And that's not a new portion of the law. That's been the law as long as I've been at the commission. So, a very long time. But there have been some changes. There were a couple of changes in 2025 that would affect school board candidates. Candidates for school board have been and continue to be required to file at least one contribution and expenditure report, a final report for their candidacy. And then candidates that are opposed or spend over a certain amount of money might have additional reports due as well. Now, the big change that took place in this election cycle from the 2025 legislative session included Act 524 of 2025. And the long and short of it is it directed that those campaign finance reports now get filed electronically with the Arkansas Secretary of State's office and their online filing system. And then the other change, which would probably affect fewer school board candidates, would be for campaigns that have raised or spent over $5,000, according to Act 994 of 2025, now have to file monthly reports. So that may not affect as many candidates, but all candidates for non-federal office in Arkansas now use that online filing system with the Secretary of State.
And so if they have questions about the filing system, I generally would recommend they go to the Secretary of State's office since they're the ones that oversee that. Now, for the forms themselves, would you guys be able to assist with that, or should they go to the Secretary of State's office?
We could assist with that. We could answer questions like, well, when is my report due? What did I need to list in my report? Do I have to report this money that I spent? Do I have to report this contribution that I received? On our website, we do have the reporting calendars for school board candidates. And so if someone needed to know the exact dates that reports were due, they could check out those reporting calendars. And they could certainly call us if they have questions about what was due when. And they could also call us about what the contribution limits are, what they're allowed to spend campaign money on. If they had questions about having trouble logging into their accounts with the Secretary of State's office, once they're logged in, if they had trouble navigating that system, finding where they click to file the reports, then they could certainly call the Secretary of State's office and they would be able to help with those questions.
And as we said earlier, that we do know that there's a fair number of helpful videos and other things on the Secretary of State's website for people if they're needing the initial setup, so that they could start there, certainly if they're trying to look for things.
Yes, and they have a how-to video. I don't know if it's still on their website, but it is still on YouTube for how to set up their online filing account. And we're certainly happy to help people, walk people through the initial steps before they actually get logged in. That's not part of our jurisdiction necessarily. That's not necessarily under our authority, but we're familiar with it. So we're happy to walk them through the parts that we can.
If I could throw in just a little bit here, I filled a lot of these calls for questions from filers, and a lot of times the question will be kind of a two-part technical assistance question, but then there will be some legal question wrapped in there. So we do interface with Secretary of State along with people. I do a lot of phone conferences. Whether you need to start with us or whether you need to start with Secretary of State kind of depends on the question, but we will be happy to work with anybody who needs help to the extent we can help them. We don't have any more access than what the general public sees as far as the nuts and bolts of the system, but we can get you to the right people if you start with us.
Oh, we sincerely appreciate that, and I'm sure our members do as well. So what happens if someone fails to file a campaign finance report? Is there some kind of potential punishment, or what's the process if they miss that deadline, and how do they go about fixing that?
Yeah, it's a great question. So nothing automatically happens. That's the first thing I'll say. And I'll also say that everyone that runs for school board would have a final report due after the election day. And so it's not the case that if somebody were unopposed or didn't raise or spend any money that they're relieved from that requirement. So everyone does need to file one, but if it comes to pass that someone has not yet filed one, there's not an automatic penalty that takes place. What could happen is that their opponent or a concerned citizen could file a complaint against them. So anytime in the next 4 years with the Ethics Commission, and a properly filed complaint, we are legally bound to accept and investigate. And so they could be issued public letters of caution, warning, or reprimand. And the commission does have the ability to impose fines between $50 and $3,500 per infraction. I do not anticipate that the commission would be able to or would choose to fine someone one of those larger fines for a late filing. It would be on the lower end. So they issued a fine.
So basically, if they miss it and they hear about it, and this is the first they're hearing about it and they didn't do it, they should go ahead and do it regardless.
Oh, absolutely. They should go ahead and do it no matter when they figure it out. The sooner the better. And if they need someone to walk them through it one-on-one, they are welcome to call us. We do things like that all day long on the phone. We're happy to do it. And so they're welcome to call the Ethics Commission at 501-324-9600 and say, I think I've missed a filing. Can I talk to someone about what I need to file and how to do it? And we will be happy to walk them through that.
Well, thank you both very much for helping us with this. Do you have any final thoughts for board members regarding the campaign finance reports? Or in general? We know you guys have gotten a lot of changes now since you guys oversee the school district statutory ethics stuff as well. And so, are there any thoughts you guys have on either of those?
I think one thing to impart is just, during legislative sessions, keep an eye out for the campaign finance stuff. In addition, I know there's an overwhelming number of educational pieces of legislation out there every year, but if you're an elected official, this is part of your job. And so keep an eye out. And then I'd encourage you to, if you're a candidate or a board member, go to our website at arkansasethics.com, take a look at the rules on campaign finance. Certainly, we put out reporting calendars for each election cycle. Take a look at those. There's a place you can sign up for reminder notices for when these reports are due. It's an email reminder system we have, and I'd encourage any candidate to sign up for that. And then with respect to what you were talking about, the expansion of our jurisdiction, those are things that board members should probably already be aware of, such as self-dealing and, taking a look at the board member resolutions if they've got a contract with the school district, that sort of thing. Check with your district council, but if you need any guidance from the ethics end of it, feel free to call us, and I'll be happy to, or anybody on staff will be happy to help walk you through that as well.
And in addition to that, Drew mentioned to go to our website to sign up to receive reminder emails of potential upcoming due dates. You can also, on our website, look at the campaign finance training slides that we went through at the School Board Association a few months ago. So that all those slides are available on our website, and those could be helpful in completing the contribution expenditure report. And then one thing that didn't change that's required of all candidates and all elected officials is filing that statement of financial interest. And that is still due on paper, and it's due every January for elected officials, and then it's due the Monday after close of filing for new candidates. And that's still filed locally on paper.
With the county clerks.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, Jill and Drew, thank you both for coming and spending this time with us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
We appreciate Jill and Drew for sharing their expertise and helping our members better understand campaign finance reporting and ethics regulations. For additional resources, reporting calendars, and training materials, visit the Arkansas Ethics Commission's website at arkansasethics.com. Be sure to subscribe to ASBA Boardcast so you don't miss future conversations. As always, if you have ideas for episodes, please reach out. We would love to hear them. See you next time.